All right. Happy Tuesday evening, and it is August 22nd, 2023, here at PreciseAlgorithmTrading.com. And I wanted to start here. If you guys could, I know I've got some people that are watching this thing relatively regularly now. Um, if you could go here to the YouTube channel and then like some of those videos, or maybe you can even like them from here. I guess I don't know that. You can watch them. This is yesterday's. I will post the new one, but maybe pop over to YouTube, like those things. I'm trying to get more followers, and if we get more followers, I can help more people, and ultimately that's what I'm trying to do. So, flip this off and go over here. So, the markets, what they do today. This is the S&P 500, and that is a little bit of a pullback after a rally yesterday. Um, let's do this. Zoom in here a little bit. So I've talked about these candles before, but just for a little refresher, an open candle like that one that I'm hovering over in the middle means that the price started there, went all the way down there, all the way up there, and closed there at some point during the day. The close is really the matter, the open is really the matter. All the range matters, but not near as much as the open and the close. So you can see today that the price opened up here and then fell to that level there. There was a little tick at the up and then a little tick to the bottom, and then it closed at the lows of the day. That's how this works, and that's the S&P 500. Over here on the hourly chart, you can see, in the middle of all that, it's literally these last few bars, because I think each one of the, I know it, each one of these is a day. There's 6.5 bars in a trading period. They're an hour-long bars, and it's 6.5 hours in the trading period from 9:30 to 4 Eastern Standard Time. So you get all that going on there, and that's, I'm not going to belabor it, but you get the idea. So over here on the hourly chart, we've got some green happening, and the question is, are we going to fall down and retest some of these lows, or even go beyond? Right now we have, that's a low. Actually, that's up here, up in this neck of the woods up here. I'm over here on the right hand chart. One of these is the high. They probably both could be, because you had a high and then a low and then a lower high and then a lower low. Then you had a high and a higher low and a higher high and a higher low and a higher high and a higher low. So this is the definition of an uptrend for now anyway on the hourly chart. And we're looking for that really to come up at some point and break that diagonal line to the downside. I could also draw another diagonal line to the downside. Let's do that. If I could just get it to zoom in, that would be lovely. We'll do it this way. So we'll go from there. It's, for me, it's the top of a bullish candlestick. It's not necessarily the way a lot of people would draw it, to the next top of a bullish candlestick. That one right there. There's one back here, but we've already broken it. So you go to this and you look for a break of that line. It makes that line obviously closer. This one was a slope. That one's the bigger slope. That's how I do it. It works for me. So none of it really matters, because at the end of the day, you start to get a breakout to the upside, and you'll start getting higher highs and higher lows, like I did on the daily, like I showed on the hourly chart. We get them on the daily chart. All right, the weekly chart, I hate to say, it looks a lot weaker than that, because it's been such a down moment. Although we could get a reversal and get chop up in this higher zone, none of that matters, because we're going to be keying off of the lower time frames. At least I am. All right, and then oh yeah, I was going to show these because I think they're useful. This is where we came off the bottom. This is also the S&P. After 3 average true ranges lower, the definition of an average true range, you can look it up in Google, but there's 3 of them here. That was 1 to the downside, 2 the blue line, and 3 the yellow line. You got the same thing to the upside, and this area in the middle is the mean, which you can see these are the moving averages, the crossover moving averages, and you can see it actually got reversed right off of that second moving average. We got one right up here in the middle that I could absolutely see getting hit before we really roll over. And if we do that, we've broken this downtrend line, and then we're going to watch that one for resistance, which just happens to be hitting on that second moving average line. And as crazy as that is, I could go back here and draw these things and show you where it has worked out in the past, especially when we're down like this. You can see sometimes they can move up and then they give us basically a topping candle and we go lower, or they can break those lines. You still get some volatility, and then it continues to break out and through these types of lines. That's why I have them drawn on here. And then one more thing, the McClellan oscillators got pretty deep. That's really the whole point of looking at this. We went from pretty high to pretty low, and now the question is, can we break higher again out of this pattern like we did when we did this and continue an uptrend? Frankly, I don't know the answer to that. All we can do is watch for it and react when the time comes. We can't obviously control the markets, but you can understand that and you can take advantage of it when the time comes, or potential advantage. Everything has a risk, and then if it doesn't play out, you reverse your position or get out. All right, that's the S&P. The Dow was down harder. Interesting though that we got some constructive activity, I'm going to call it, on the hourly chart, but it's pretty slammed down here on the daily. These Bollinger Band reversals, they're obvious to a lot of people, so they're an easy one for the market to basically, after you get a signal like that, if people just bought off of that and wanted to just travel back to the mean, they got to get taken back to the woodshed before they get a chance to go up. So you could set a stop. You really could, if you went long on this position, you could set a stop right underneath this candle. Chances are you could get stopped out, or you can come down here like 1 or 2 average true ranges and see what happens. But I wouldn't play off of a extension like or a Bollinger Band bounce unless I had something else, some other reason to play it, like I did with this is the Russell 2000, and it's a leveraged ETF for the Russell 2000. I think it's funny that it's called TNA, but that might just be a coincidence. Why would I have played off of this Bollinger Band bounce? Because when I did it, this RSI 2 number was below 2. And I'm waiting for that RSI 2 number to get up to 70 before I would possibly even react. And even if that happens, when it happens, it doesn't matter if I'm up or down. If I'm down, I'm going to take my position off the table, but if I'm up, I'm going to watch for signs of a longer term reversal. Okay, so that's enough of that. So this is the actual Russell chart. It's very similar to the exchange traded fund, which makes a ton of sense. And again, why would I be even going long? It's not just the hourly chart, but the weekly chart has a lot of reasons why it looks like it might go higher. And don't forget that we're keying off right now of that blue Harvard line. We got up above it, for the first time in a while, and I'm really looking to see if this market could possibly get legs, and if it does, we're going to be breaking that gold Harvard line and then some for a while, potentially. All right. I think that's really enough. Let's look at the NASDAQ. It's the last one because it's the biggest mover. And so the NASDAQ is actually is there anything to write home about here with the NASDAQ? We've come up into these moving averages a little bit more, and really looking for some signs in the True Momo indicator and on the daily chart, and some of these other things to start coming together and start to potentially rally off of this, where this could be a bottom. If it's not, we could be headed lower, but I am looking for a rally around this price level. So, okay, and that's enough for the charts. Let's go to stockcharts.com. Obviously, we're not affiliated with stockcharts.com, but it helps us get a gauge of the markets and the relative bullishness in each of these indexes. So the industrials didn't move. The NYA went down by 1.19%. The transports didn't move. The NASDAQ down by 0.37%, or not very much. The SPX minus 0.36%, or not very much. The OEX, which is the S&P 100, didn't move. And the NDX, which has really been the mover, which tacked on X's, I think just yesterday, adds a new one today. So this is where literally, if you pick the right positions with the right momentum in the NASDAQ, you could probably have some positions that are winning in the short run. I don't really have a lot of that yet, but Oracle, even it's a NASDAQ position, but it's hanging, and that's good because those bullish percent indexes do help. I do actually have some stops in place, but at this point, I don't even think I need the stops anymore. So, all right, and then finally, our automatic trading system. This is the Dow, and we got new green dots today. Not a whole lot of action. This is what it looks like. 822 all the way down. I'd say that literally the $860 win there is probably what pushed it higher, and then these things have all pushed it a little bit lower. So again, not that big a deal. In the scheme of things, it's fine. This is the Russell, which I don't even want to talk about anymore because it's really not been moving, and when it does, it's aggravating me. It's been more losers than winners lately, and so yeah, it's got their least amount of equity in it as well. And then the NASDAQ has been nicely rallying here lately, and today we got 22. There's quite a bit of trades there. I'll paint those. All in, that is a win, but man, we had a nice couple trades in there, and then we had some pretty brutal losers too. So, and that's still the point. This $5,000 win is what you're looking for, and when you do lose, it's less per time and overall, or else we wouldn't have that nice uptrend that we got going on here. And if you look at this on a yearly basis, it's a lot better even looking than this. So, with that, I'll leave you guys for the night. Have a great evening. Take care.